This is a video of American economist Thomas Sowell talking about Jew hatred.
The hostility to these people in countries around the world is out of all proportion to that, to any other kind of group I can think of.
I want to show you one other thing. Since we've done Douglas Murray and we've done Jordan Peterson, how about I give you the trifecta of sanity? This is a video of Thomas Sowell. This is from probably 20, 25 years ago. Thomas Sowell being asked about why anti-Semitism is so prevalent in history.
You have a chapter, that's the first chapter is black rednecks and white liberals. The second chapter is, are Jews generic? Why the jump from black rednecks and white liberals to are Jews generic? What's the point?
Well, this book is really about ethnic and cultural issues in general. So there's a chapter on the Jews, there's a chapter on the Germans, and then there's a chapter on history in general. So they're lumped together because they're all cultural ethnic issues. Fascinating story, because among the middleman minorities, of which the Jews are the most prominent, the hostility to these people in countries around the world is out of all proportion to that, to any other kind of group I can think of. In terms of violence, the number of Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year, and by mob action, exceeds all the blacks lynched in the entire history of the United States. And the number of Armenians killed in Turkey, during the First World War, is greater than that. And of course, the number of Jews slaughtered on a number of occasions in history, even before the Holocaust, is greater than that. So that the question is, why this particular kind of people are the targets of so much venomous hatred? And I think the answer is that they not only succeed, they succeed in a way which is a threat to the egos of other people. But the guy who comes here, let's say from Vietnam or Korea, and arrives here with little more than the clothes on his back and a few words of broken English, and a decade later he has his own little business, and you see his son a few years after that getting ready to go off to Harvard or MIT, you got to ask yourself, you either got to, you've got to hate yourself for saying, my God, I've been stagnating, this guy was nothing and now he's risen up, or you're going to have to hate him. Years ago, one official of one of the Jewish organizations in New York asked me, what can Jews themselves do in order to minimize the hostility they face? And I gave him a one-word answer: fail. Because as long as you succeed, you're going to be hated.
I personally would rather succeed and be hated than fail and be loved. And that probably is the story of the Jews. The interesting thing with Israel related to all this is you have Jews who are not only succeeding, they're struggling over this last month, obviously, but there's a sense, I was talking to an Israeli friend last night, there's a sense in the country that they are going to be stronger than ever on the other side of this, that this is ironically bringing them together. It's sort of baked in the code. It's what every Jewish holiday is about. Oh, they killed a whole bunch of us. They didn't kill all of us. We're still here. Let's eat. And Jews still are here. That is why they particularly hate Israel, because it's a place where not only Jews are succeeding, but then Jews refuse to fail, and they've got weapons to make sure that that doesn't happen.
He said exactly what I wanted to add to this video at the end, which is, I think there are a lot of people in the world who would like to see Israel wiped off the map, who would like to see Jews be non-existent. And the thing that kind of gets them to rally again is the fact that we refuse to let that happen. Not only do we refuse to let it happen, you can see through history that it has not happened. It has been attempted. It was attempted during the Holocaust. It's attempted in every microdosed, mini-applied terrorist attack domestically inside of the state of Israel. It was absolutely applied at its max capacity on October 7th, 2023, that Saturday morning. This morning, this video is being recorded on Sunday, May 18th. This morning at 2 a.m., the Houthi rebels, during the Eurovision performance, decided to fire yet another rocket at Israel to disrupt. So at 2 in the morning, I woke up to my watch alerting me that there was a siren. I heard the siren. I went downstairs to my stairwell. These attempts are going to just continue. And it's so interesting because when I look at the whole Free Palestine movement, what happens when people shout Free Palestine, they think by trying to get other people in the world to rally behind them and chant Free Palestine too, which leads to these individuals who are committing these violent attacks against the state of Israel. It leads to them feeling like they have more energy to do so, more support to do so, more of a green light to do so. So when they scream free Palestine and they're trying to create this free liberation movement for the Palestinian cause, the Palestinian project, what they're doing is they're locking Palestinians down. They're not freeing Palestine, they're locking Palestine. Why are they locking Palestine? Every single time that they scream free Palestine, it gives a green go light to the Houthi rebels to fire more rockets. It gives a green go light to Hamas to commit another atrocity. It gives the green go light to all of these other people across the world, especially in Europe, who now feel like they have the authority to just go and commit atrocities to Jewish people, Jewish neighborhoods, Jewish homes. And so every time that you do that, you're basically giving Israel yet another reason to defend itself, another reason to increase security protocols, another reason to be stronger together. So when you scream free Palestine, you're locking Palestine down. You're just elongating the process for there to actually be a free Palestine. Because when you scream free Palestine, you think that you're advocating for peace and you think that you're advocating for freedom. You're advocating for more violence and you're advocating for those Gazans, those Palestinians inside of the Gaza Strip, to never be freed. And it's this reoccurring cycle that just keeps going and going and going and going. And that is the entire hypocrisy, in my opinion, of the Free Palestine movement. It's not that I'm against the idea of having freedom for the innocent Palestinians inside of the Gaza Strip. I've talked about it for 19 months on this platform. You can go all the way back to my videos, my live streams, where I'm literally advocating for the innocent Palestinians inside of the Gaza Strip to be able to have a future and be able to have a life and to be able to prosper and thrive in whatever it is that he or she or they want to do. But there is a very clear variable that we must remove as a society in order for that to happen. And the Free Palestine movement sees that variable as the state of Israel. And Israel and those who support Israel's right to defend itself see that variable very clearly as Hamas and all of the proxies and those who are locking Palestinians down. So when Hamas and the Houthis and the IRGC and all of them raise their flags and you get all of the encampment protesters at Columbia to do so too, and then you have Queers for Palestine, and then you have the Houthi rebels who show a big sign in English that says, thank you to the American universities for standing up. And then you have the Ayatollah who commends them. What kind of behavior, what kind of psyche do you think that you're building? You're getting more of the people in the West to do more of that. And you're giving the head of the snake more reason to continue to pump this cycle out. And what I mean by pump this cycle out is that they need, unfortunately, the death of the innocent Palestinians in order for them to leverage that media to the West to continue to fuel this cycle. This is why this is why UNRWA was established, because they need a refugee problem forever. They need to be able to say that they're claiming all of these tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees to make it look like Israel is the cause of this. Without the refugee problem and without all of these proxies trying to eliminate Israel, without the Palestinians dying, the people in the West don't have anything to watch to say to themselves, why is it that I'm protesting? Imagine if the protesters didn't have TikTok. Imagine if the protesters didn't have this propaganda, if they didn't have this media. You don't think that when they speak to you and their talking points are literally like, well, what are you going to do about this video that I just watched of this kid underneath a building? This is the fuel that the IRGC, this is the fuel that these groups need. They need it because they know that it's going to create that behavior over across the water. You get it? That's the problem. Every time that they scream free Palestine, you're locking Palestine down. You're giving Israel another reason to build up another wall. You're giving Israel another reason to put more security forces at the old city, to put more security forces next to the West Bank. You're giving Israel another reason to lock down on more terrorist activity. You're giving Israel another reason to respond to the attacks and absolutely destroy all of Hamas's capabilities inside of the Gaza Strip and then fire at the Houthi rebels. You're giving another reason. Hezbollah gave Israel a reason shortly after the 7th of October to go into Lebanon. What else do you expect them to do? It's pretty obvious. Thank you so much for all your support. I'll see you next video. If you want to continue the conversation, you can support my work for free. Discord does not cost a thing. It is the best way to connect with me and others who are seeking the truth. The link is in the description. But if you want to take it one step further, my Patreon gives you access to the Israel you don't see, uncovering the untold stories of what mainstream media does not show you. The link is in the description and it helps me to continue this work. Or if you're just looking to help this thing go, PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee is a really easy way to support me. This channel, this work does not happen without all of you. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time.